Howdy, everybody. Welcome once again. Happy Saturday. It's time for Golden VCR. Hi. I was eating sushi. Haley and I got H-Mart sushi grade fish and made hand rolls for dinner last night. So we had sushi breakfast from the leftovers. It was delicious. It's Saturday. How's everybody doing? Good morning to you. Let me pull up some things here. Howdy, Chaz. Howdy, Peter Gabriel Train. Thank you for all those resub messages. I have... So my plan for this stream, right off the bat here, I got two, half a song from Bella. Thank you, Bella. That's so sweet of you. Thank you for that contribution. Yeah, if you want a subsidized song, now's your chance. I do want to scan some tapes. I mean, let's be honest. What I want to do is sit on my ass and do something else. But I ultimately always like streaming when we do it. What I want to do is scan these tapes because, good Lord, they need to go on that shelf. Starting with the Green Day box, which does contain Canadian Animation Festival. Which, if it gets scanned, might be able to watch it today. In the meantime, though, I've picked out a couple of tapes that would be good substitute teacher things. Yes, the boxes in the car are from Bella. They've been in the car for a long time. But they are the most recent things I've picked up. I got two tapes that I can scan stuff during. We got Killer Quakes, which seems kind of in poor taste, but maybe it'll be fun. And well, actually, this is a Nova program. It's just been repackaged, so I think it actually will be like a legit, science-y, respectful thing. It's just kind of put into this dumb packaging. And then we also have from WGBH Boston, Africans in America. America's Journey Through Slavery. This is a chapter entitled The Terrible Transformation. So, how about I make a poll? And also, how about that 1,000 bits from Cheesehammer for Hammer Time? We love Hammer Time. All right, I'm going to make a poll and then we'll enjoy Hammer Time. Oh my God. Y'all are training. Thank you so much. Well, then I'll make this poll long. Killer Quakes, Africans in America. Jesus. All right. Well, thanks everybody. They're being very nice indeed. There's a 3-minute poll. Let's get Hammer Time going. And then we also have, from Jacebook, thank you Jacebook, Maria Martinez, and 1,000 bits from Green Day Rock for a Chat's Choice song. Please, chat. What do you want to hear? Then also 500 bits from Will to complete the initials. Cheer from Bella. How is it built? And then 1,000 for Dealer's Choice. Oh, baby. All right. Well, let's have our little musical segment to wake us up this Saturday morning. Starting with where are we going? Hammer Time. And a Maria Martinez song.
Hammer time. Oh yeah. Here with my friends.
Thank you, Haley 92.
Mr. Saw, Mr. Plier, and Mr. Screwdriver. My name is Hammer, and I'm here to say I'ma do the hammers night and day with an awesome swing and chill and blow. Can drive any nail where I want it to go. Can whack on wall, whack on wood, knock things together, and it makes me feel good. So you better step aside and watch me down. Watch me hammer on
Okay, we're going hammer themed.
yeah, I'ma do my thing.
You got more Sledgehammer. Okay.
Watch me move. 'Cause I'm in full effect. Call me Hammer 'cause I'm way cool. When Hammer's on the scene, I totally rule. Don't twist or pull like a pair of pliers. Don't screw things down like a squeeze screwdriver. I'm a hammer, busting on any old nail. Give me lots of room and watch this home too well. You better step aside and watch
Wow,
me
we are
bang.
at level 5 on the Golden Kappa train.
Oh yeah, like I said before.
I don't know what that means other than you're all being very kind in supporting Golden VCR.
This, like I said. Y'all know other tools are way cool, but Hammer is the tool that totally rules. You can't top this.
We have a dealer's choice from Jess and a dealer's Peter Gabriel choice from Haley 92. I am the dealer, so I get to decide, but you're welcome to suggest things. You tied the poll. If you tie the poll, that just means I decided. Congrats. Green Day, thank you for the gifting of the subs. Boy, that's a golden ass train banner at 90%. Amazing. Oh yeah, it really spreads these subs far and wide. I love it. So let's see. Let me find this. Find this song that Will requested. How is it? Is that the one from the Bridge tape, Will? About how do they build bridges? Okay, yeah, I got it. Y'all are having a lot of fun this morning. I'm glad to see it. And oh my God, level 6. We're golden kappaing. I picked it random from the Maria Martinez catalog. This is Flutuando. It's one we haven't heard as much, which is why my eyes landed on it. It's a jam. I like it. I was hoping I wanted to make sure I landed on one that was on the longer side too. Yeah, we will watch either A Somber History of Slavery or Buildings Falling Down, and I'll pull up the scans. All right, and our chat's choice song, courtesy of Green Day Rock, is an encore performance of Sledgehammer. By the way, the Peter Gabriel concert did get hella blocked by Content ID. Sperm Capybara. Globally. So, the fantastic live rendition of Sledgehammer. Sadly cannot be. I can't promise that, but I'll make a note of it. There's really no reason I can't. So, yeah. If there's interest, I'm happy to do that. Going up and down, all around the bends. You could have a car bumping. There's amusement never ends. Yes, let me get you a link. I wanna be the Sledgehammer. Oh, there you go. After seeing all these live performances of Sledgehammer, this is so much less horny. Like, the song is equally horny, but the video has all these like artistic metaphors where when you watch it live, it's just Peter Gabriel thrusting his crotch into the camera. I suppose I could be rewinding Killer Quakes, because it's not, it is unkind. Yeah, like on the surface, Hammer Time, a song that aired on Sesame Street, and Sledgehammer are not that different. Whoa, Golden Kappa Train, success. They're just songs about hammers. Whoa, it's a golf emote and a Golden Kappa. These are our rewards. Amazing. Thank you again, everyone, for your generosity. It's nice to get the morning radio DJ segment. This is like, you know, waking you up on your drive to work. Just jamming out to some tunes while people trickle in on a Saturday morning. If that ain't nice, I don't know what is. This one's for Will. Bridges.
Wanna know how do they build that building so high? How do they build that bridge so wide? How do they build that tunnel below and launch a space shuttle in the sky? In the sky. When all these questions come over me, Poppy tries to tell me why. How do they build that building so high? How do they build that bridge so
Oh, Pop
wide?
isn't mentioned in the song. I didn't realize that.
Tunnel below and launch a space shuttle in the sky. In the sky. How do they build that?
This is my dealer's choice song. You're all welcome. Thank you to Seemingly Just for this one. Am I taking submissions? I mean, I will happily take them. If you want to send 3 tapes, that's totally fine. The way submissions work is like the more tapes I have, the more guilt I feel because I assume people send in tapes like wanting to see them. But realistically, you know, we can only watch so many tapes. So it's a question of like, are you fine with sending something in and never seeing it? If so, feel free to send it in.
We're going on a
Picnic.
Won't you come with us and play? We're going on a picnic. Picnics are a lot of fun. In the country, in the sun. Leave the city for a day.
Man, this capture of
Have some
picnic
fun
is
the country way.
bad.
A picnic on a sunny
I gotta
day.
figure out how to fix this.
Green grass grows upon the ground where we have our
Picnic.
We like to play upon the grass where we have our
Picnic.
It's nice to kneel upon the grass, to smell and touch and feel the grass. Grass is green and green is the color. Green is the color of the trees. Green is the color of summer leaves. While Mom and Dad prepare the food, we look for things to find. The woods are filled with animals
And many things to find.
Caterpillars, bugs, and bees living in the forest. Perhaps we'll find a nest of eggs hidden in the forest. Find things in the forest. Animals live all around.
There's
where
also-
we have our picnic.
The other factor
A
is,
frog
like,
can easily be
the
found
scope of
where
Golden
we
VCR
have
has
our
really expanded
picnic.
since I
Frogs are small
initially
animals
started it.
that live around the water.
And I-
Turtles like to
At some
live
point
in too.
soon, we'll probably have to, like, do fewer streams. because at some point soon I have to like probably go get a boring office job. So in that case, I'll probably be a little more discriminating about like what we watch. But I don't know. You know all these disclaimers. The format is subject to change. There's no guarantee that your tape will get watched, as long as you're cool with that.
Hot does things that cold cannot.
Then really it's fine to send things in, and I will cut it off when it's like, all right, I just have physically too many things.
Lunch is ready now. It's time to have our picnic. Eating food that's fun to eat. It's time to have our picnic. To eat can be a lot of fun, especially on a hot dog.
Eating food that's fun to eat.
Pleasure too. Drink is something that we do.
Drink is something that we do.
When we're thirsty through and through.
Oh yeah, it cuts out. Wait, what? Oh shit, I forgot. Well, that was long enough anyway. This is my Peter Gabriel pick. I'm gonna have to fix that. But anyway, this is I Don't Remember. It's a fantastic song. From his second album, I think. Yeah, I was about to say this is, it sounds different than the album track. And it's an earlier song, so like they produced this video later at the same time they did Shock the Monkey. Oh yeah, you can hear the crowd. God, that Tony Levin groove, man. It really has. I've never been a live concert like recording person, but watching these shows is, you know, it really, and especially with an artist like Peter Gabriel, that like, you know, puts his band front and center and you know, shouts them out, and makes them a part of the performance. Like, watching a live show gives you a sense of who all these people are, and when you're listening to the music, you can pick it out. You're like, oh yeah, that's Tony. I can imagine what he's doing, standing up there with that mustache, grooving around. I love how he lip syncs the Gabrielese. Oh, Bella, are you into nude, ashy, bald men? Now here, nowhere, whoa. Hexagons. Okay, because we didn't get the bluegrass breakdown at Picnic.
What a difference Blockbuster makes.
Just a couple of bonus songs.
We're a place you can come home to, a place to call your own, where you set aside
This is also my dealer's choice song.
of the day, where the good times never end, for family and friends. That's why we say these are the good times, these are the close times, Fairfield for the fun times of your life. Sharing time with those who love you,
Doing things you love to do, when you say a better way to spend the day.
yes, the time you spend today, keeping promises you made. It's why we say these are the good times.
We saw me last stream.
Times, Fairfield for the fun times of your life.
I'm a space marine of various ethnicities.
Whether you spend a week at Fair.
All right, are we ready? Are we ready? Our poll tied, so I'm going to pick the tape that's currently in the VCR, and then I'm going to go off camera and get to scanning. If that's all right with you fine folks. Let's see. Killer Quakes, devastating seismic events, contains earth-shattering footage. Witness the awesome power of nature's fury as you take a pulse-pounding trip into the heart of destruction with the Storm Chasers. Are they really Storm Chasers for earthquakes? Killer Quakes travels the quivering streets of Los Angeles with a team of scientists piecing together clues from the massive Northridge quake in which many people died to better understand when the Earth will erupt again. This Emmy-nominated video offers eyewitness accounts, it won an Emmy, and presents the sobering sights of Los Angeles struggling to recover from the massive force that rose from inside the Earth. Yeah, so this is a production of KCET TV, copyright 1994, WGBH Educational Foundation, as seen on Nova as Killer Quake. So this is a Nova documentary. It's been repackaged as, you won't believe these killer quakes. They'll fuck you up and kill your family. So yeah, let's enjoy Killer Quakes. We did. We watched a I think it was one that Joshy D sent in, and it was from a public TV station in the Bay Area. It's the one with Robin. There was that really chilling scene of Robin's friends calling to her, not knowing if she was alive or dead. I'm sorry, what is this logo? UAV Corporation. Someone just learned to use 3D Studio Max. I love it.
We're having an earthquake. Relax.
911. What is going on? Earthquake. Coming from, I can't see anything. Listen to me. Calm down.
Is there somebody in there?
A kitty, just a kitty.
Recent quakes in Southern California are revealing unexpected new dangers.
The ground is moving in so many places all at once. This can't be real.
Is downtown LA at ground zero for the next killer quake?
Funding for NOVA is provided by Lockheed, America's aerospace company.
Hooray, military-industrial complex.
Engineering education for national technology leadership.
And by Merck.
Hooray, big pharmaceutical companies.
Research committed to discovery, improving health, extending life. Merck.
Major funding.
You're gonna get an oil company? Come on, Shell.
For public broadcasting and biannual financial support from viewers like you.
I will post a link.
All you need to know. KNX 1070 News Radio.
Good morning. The time is 4:30 on Monday, January.
I'll make sure I post a link to that lady in Alabama that finds her dog after the tornado, in case we need to be heartwarmed after this.
Pre-dawn hours of January 17th, 1994. Most of the city was asleep. Today was a holiday, the end of a 3-day weekend, a chance to relax. But on this particular Monday, the Earth had something
The radio's talking about Tanya Harding denying the allegations. Sorry, let's make sure we get the
It's an earthquake. We're having an earthquake. Relax. Just stay right here. We're having an earthquake. Relax.
911. What is going on? Earthquake.
Okay, and this is Jay Lawrence with radio station KFI. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just, what I can say is we've just experienced a real whopper here, especially here at the radio station. We're trying to piece everything together. What I can say is Los Angeles apparently just had a major trembler.
So major, this quake would suddenly prompt local residents and scientists around the world to reassess their beliefs about the extent of earthquake danger to Los Angeles. But no one was thinking about that right now. They were just trying to survive.
Don't bend your legs. Fire and paramedics. I can't see anything. Listen to me. Calm down. Okay, calm down because the fire department will come out, okay? Hold on a second. It's an earthquake and I'm in my house. Yes? It's falling apart. I have to do it. I don't know what to do. Ma'am, just stay calm.
I need the fire department in my apartment. The water's coming out to the back of the room. Some pipes came loose or something and hot water's
Okay, sir, the fire department does not handle that. You'll have to go out and turn the water off at the main.
Powerful shock waves snapped gas lines, igniting a series of fires. Pipes ruptured, creating an eerie dance of water and fire. Entire neighborhoods were deluged, and firefighters lacked water pressure badly needed to fight fires. Thousands of people fled their homes.
All units be advised, we have sustained a major earthquake in the LA basin. All unit battalions report on Blue 4.
Emergency teams combed neighborhoods to make sure no one was left behind. At first, the damage appeared to be confined to a single section of Los Angeles known as the San Fernando Valley, some 20 miles northwest of downtown.
It was reported the 10th freeway buckled or collapsed at Fairfax. Refrain from using the 10th freeway in either direction.
But then word came that sections of 5 separate freeways in different parts of the city had collapsed.
I am southbound on the 5.
Driving with his personal video camera, Jack Noyes chronicled the chaos.
And there's traffic in the southbound lanes coming at me in the number 1 lane. And there's traffic. I've just taken a hit. There's a break in the road. There's traffic coming at me in the southbound lane. I'm in shock.
Across town in Hollywood, the quake had crumbled dozens of older brick buildings, forcing residents into the streets. Throughout LA's vast metropolitan area, power lines were ripped down.
Dog.
Leaving millions of people isolated without lights or electricity.
Number 6, Jack, please. Is there somebody in there? A kitty, just a kitty.
Fire paramedics. I got people stuck trapped in the stockroom. The whole shelf came down. I got 2 girls stuck right now. All right, calm down. Give me the address.
The nature of the problem?
She's having her second heart attack. She's 80 years old and she's not breathing.
Has the baby been born yet?
No, it has not.
What is your telephone number you're calling?
As dawn approached, the full impact of the Quake's rampage became shockingly clear.
There's a little hole right through here, man. Are you in a car? He sounds like he's right here.
Sounds like he's right here.
Sounds like he's right Hey, we're coming.
Rescue crews combed the city looking for people trapped in the rubble.
I think he's right below you, Jerry. I think he's right here. Yeah, I couldn't tell.
Pinned inside a collapsed parking garage was Salvador Pena, who had been driving a street sweeper underneath. Buried by broken slabs of concrete, he was still alive. Rescue teams could barely keep up with the damage that seemed to be spreading in all directions. From the San Fernando Valley, the earthquake had apparently traveled under an entire mountain range, devastating buildings in Santa Monica, 18 miles to the south. But the path of damage that seemed to encompass much of the city left little clue as to where the quake had been centered. Damage reports continued to pour in from every section of town. 9 freeway bridges were in shambles. And the full extent of the damage continued catching rescue teams by surprise. Further up the road, the quake's furious stampede had even more serious consequences. Along an interchange of the Golden State Freeway just outside Northridge, the earthquake sheared off 4 overpasses. Here, one of the day's first fatalities was discovered. A Los Angeles police motorcycle officer was killed when his cycle flew off the collapsed overpass. He was on his way to work.
This is KNX Los Angeles.
Okay, we are getting some preliminary information here. This is a 6.5, struck at 4:31. This, according to Dr. Lucy Jones at the Caltech Seismology Lab. These are preliminary. Yeah, go ahead.
She's not sure of a location, but she thinks that it may be in the San Fernando Valley.
Somewhere in the San Fernando Valley for a possible epicenter, which, of course, is POW, right in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles city limits.
By now, the media was searching for answers. Reporters converged on the California Institute of Technology, one of the world's leading earthquake research centers. But scientists there were in the dark. The earthquake was so powerful, it overwhelmed the computer system that monitored the scientists' ground sensors. For the moment, information that would reveal the exact location of the earthquake was unavailable to seismologists like Lucy Jones.
The waves from it came up and hit a lot of our stations at almost the same time. And it fit the pattern for microwave noise. Basically, the computer said, the ground is moving in so many places all at once. This can't be real. This must be a glitch in the microwave system, and threw it out. So when we got in there, instead of coming up with a location like we would hope to do, we often get a location within 2 minutes. Instead, we had the system saying, oh, nothing's happened. Well, yes, there was a bit of noise in the system, nothing's happened, and we had to retrieve it.
Oh my gosh.
But clues were emerging in the form of aftershocks.
Okay, come on back, come on back, come on.
Dozens of mini-earthquakes shook the city, kicking up dust storms in the mountains and valleys.
The one time we do know when an earthquake's going to happen is immediately after a big event. We know there are going to be aftershocks. Aftershocks are earthquakes. It's our one chance to get our instruments out before the earthquake happens.
The dust storms created by the aftershocks continued all morning, but each tremor provided the Caltech team with a visible trail to find the source of the earthquake.
By getting the location of the aftershocks very, very exactly, we can see the details of the fault that produced the earthquakes. And we had 10 technicians in the field within 2 hours after the earthquake, because if we didn't, we'd have missed the events.
By early morning, seismologists had finally retrieved the data that their computers had recorded at the time of the earthquake. This information confirmed what the aftershocks had been suggesting. The source of the earthquake, the epicenter, was in the San Fernando Valley directly under a community known as Northridge, some 23 miles northwest of downtown. Caltech geologist Jim Dolan was among the first to fly over the epicenter to survey the scene.
The morning of the earthquake, we went up in a helicopter to try to find surface rupture, which helps us greatly in understanding which fault broke in the earthquake, which we were trying to determine the day of the earthquake. So we went up in the helicopter and spent several hours flying around the epicentral area and the area to the north, trying to find surface rupture.
Most earthquakes leave a gash in the Earth's crust, a path of destruction that reveals the location of the underlying fault that caused the earthquake. But this was no ordinary earthquake. Dolan couldn't find any surface rupture to trace the Earth's movement, nor did he have any idea about which fault had triggered the event.
It's one of those unfortunate instances where we had to have an earthquake to find out where the fault that broke in the earthquake was. We didn't know that the fault that broke in the Northridge earthquake existed before the earthquake.
But the widespread damage Dolan saw left little doubt that Northridge was indeed the center of the earthquake. One strong piece of evidence was this large multi-unit apartment complex called the Northridge Meadows.
Hello?
It was originally a 3-story building. Now it was 2.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
It's gonna get dark.
You underneath that? Okay, he's right underneath here.
Trapped inside and underneath were dozens of residents. Ultimately, 16 of the earthquake's 57 dead would be found in the rubble of this one building.
We were laying in bed and someone broke a window and we just managed to crawl out.
And I went to sit up, to get up, and I realized the ceiling was on my head.
I climbed down the balcony. I grabbed my wife, ran like heck to the center of the complex.
And I was wedged between my mattress and the wall. And the mattress was up in the air and I couldn't figure out what it was doing there, why I couldn't push it back down.
Got thrown out of bed, run downstairs. It was running through glass that we didn't know was there.
There is no first floor anymore, it's gone.
I think I was in shock. And I tell you the truth, had I not been knocked unconscious, I think I might have died of a heart attack. It was that frightening.
You got a drop bag and all that?
Oh, you're welcome. Good luck. You're welcome.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, glad we could help.
You guys did as bad as me yesterday.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Right up here, guys. We're gonna lay him down.
Just a few miles away from the Northridge Meadows apartments, rescue crews continued their struggle to pry Salvador Pena from the collapsed parking garage.
Right up here, guys. We're gonna lay him down. Right up here.
Finally, after 4 hours, he was pulled out. He was seriously injured but alive and would eventually recover.
Everyone's initially very frightened, and then once the shock starts wearing off, you really want to know what happened. It's a very schizophrenic experience, a large earthquake. It's a very schizophrenic experience for a geologist or a seismologist who works on earthquakes, because on the one hand, the amount of energy that's involved in moving a chunk of the Earth's crust 10 miles thick, moving that thing 20 feet in a couple of seconds is mind-boggling, and it's extraordinarily fascinating. That's why we work on earthquakes, because they are so fascinating. On the other hand, when you're up in a helicopter flying around over Northridge the morning of the earthquake, looking at, derailed trains, buildings on fire, apartment buildings that have collapsed and obviously killed people, on a completely different level, on a human level, it's a devastating experience. So we're constantly trying to balance these two reactions to an earthquake.
Everywhere Jim Dolan looked that January morning, he saw destruction, but there was no rupture in the Earth's crust. After searching in vain for a telltale crack in the ground, Dolan knew its absence only meant one thing. The earthquake was the work of a blind thrust fault. fault that can't be seen. When it ruptures, it never breaks the Earth's surface. The Northridge shock started deep underground, but unlike most earthquakes, it stopped 5 miles below. Yet the quake was just as destructive, despite its unusual behavior.
So it was much more difficult in the day or two after the earthquake to understand what had happened, because it's very easy to go out and see a road that's offset in an earthquake. It's much more difficult to understand something that happened 10 miles deep.
The Northridge blind thrust had taken only 6 seconds to release its deadly energy, but it would take the city months, perhaps years, to recover. It was one of the most expensive natural disasters in the nation's history. For the moment, many anxious residents were merely thankful they were not among the 57 who died, or the 9,000 injured. By nightfall, as thousands of anxious residents huddled around campfires, many were left to wonder, was this earthquake the big one? The long-awaited seismic disaster all Californians had been warned to expect. Or would earthquakes like it strike again, perhaps even more violently than it had today?
I think Northridge was an excellent wake-up call, showing us once again, we're going to have damaging earthquakes in Los Angeles, and at some point, it's going to affect everyone in Los Angeles. Everyone needs to be prepared for the possibility of a major earthquake occurring in Los Angeles at any time. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know where it's going to happen. We do know it will happen.
That wake-up call was all the more disturbing because throughout its history, Los Angeles has seen relatively few earthquakes. In recent memory, only occasional moderate shocks have troubled the city, which grew rapidly to become the capital of the entertainment industry. In 1933, with cameras rolling for a W.C. Fields feature, Hollywood captured one of the city's first major earthquakes on film.
Man, you probably saved my life. Now what can I do for you?
Take us to Shanghai.
Shanghai?
Yeah. What's the matter? Earthquake. Get up.
Take your time, folks. Now, everybody walk easy. It's all right now. It's all right. Come on. All right. Okay. Everybody.
What shook up W.C. Fields was an earthquake centered in Long Beach, 21 miles south of downtown. It was the first time in modern Los Angeles history that a deadly earthquake had come so near. And the city was caught off guard. With no building codes in place, the moderate quake killed 115 people and nearly destroyed downtown Long Beach. This tremor was the first indication that Los Angeles itself might sit on an active earthquake zone. Yet even after the disaster, most seismologists of the day tended to downplay the local earthquake risk. And for the next 40 years, Los Angeles enjoyed a respite from earthquakes. The city boomed during the post-war years, with no distractions from earthquakes. Subdivisions and shopping centers stretched across the land, especially in the area known as the San Fernando Valley.
Notice the attractive curved streets in the convenient commercial area.
The only seismic hazard people worried about, and they didn't worry very much, was the San Andreas Fault, which passes Los Angeles in the desert some 60 miles away from downtown. The San Andreas Fault is really an 800-mile-long crack that divides two huge chunks of the Earth's crust called plates. The North American plate lies to the east, under San Francisco, while the Pacific plate on the west lies beneath Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is sitting on the Pacific Ocean plate, and it's being moved to the northwest compared to North America at a rate of just under a couple of inches a year. It's about the same rate that your fingernails grow. And in 5 to 10 million years, we're going to have Los Angeles as a suburb of San Francisco, or San Francisco as a suburb of Los Angeles, depending on your point of view. And in 50 million years or so, we'll be actually heading up into Alaska, giving up on our palm trees.
These plates move by each other in a north-south direction. But sometimes the plates don't slide so smoothly. The San Andreas is known as a strike-slip fault because the plates bump and grind as they attempt to move in opposite directions.
It's the grinding, it's the slow, inexorable grinding of these two plates past one another that causes earthquakes. They stick in places. And when they stick, you build up strain because the plates on either side continue moving. It sticks, eventually it'll snap loose, and that's an earthquake.
It can take hundreds, sometimes even thousands of years for strain to build up before an earthquake erupts. Sometimes it's released all at once in one large quake. Other times it's released in a series of smaller shocks. It's a phenomenon that Ross Stein, a geophysicist with the U.S. Geological Survey, illustrates with a simple experiment.
What you're looking at here is everything I know about earthquakes. And this really isn't as embarrassing an admission as it sounds, because really in this simple experiment, all of the behavior that we see in earthquakes is replicated. Now, what is the earthquake machine? It's this machine that is driven by steady motion of the plate's interiors, which is represented in this experiment by this winch, which I just crank steadily. It's got the elasticity of the Earth's crust. It's actually rubbery. It's pretty stiff, but it's rubbery. And it's got some mass that's in frictional contact with the surface. That's the fall. So by steadily loading up this system, I'm increasing the force on the brick. Okay, what just happened? We had an earthquake. Keep watching. And as the spring gets pulled in here, we're bringing up the loads again on the brick. So we've had a second earthquake. We'll let it go one more time. Okay. Now, were all these earthquakes of the same size? No, it's incredible. I can't create a situation that's any simpler than this, and undoubtedly the Earth is more complicated.
The magnitude or power of an earthquake is determined by the distance over which it erupts and the duration of shaking. Earthquakes are rated on a sliding scale. Larger quakes are rated magnitude 7 or higher and release their stress all at once, while moderate earthquakes tend to occur more frequently, relieving stress over time. In 1906, a major jolt along the northern 270 miles of the San Andreas Fault produced the magnitude 7.7 San Francisco earthquake. The city shook for nearly 60 seconds. The earthquake released 32 times more energy than the Northridge quake. The shock waves were felt from Oregon to Nevada. When it was over, the city was nearly leveled. Much of what didn't crumble burned to the ground. Over 2,000 people lost their lives. But the southern portion of the San Andreas has experienced no such violent movement in recent memory. Although the mighty fault doesn't run directly under Los Angeles, anxious residents have assumed this was the fault that would bring the long-awaited big one to Southern California. But that thinking has begun to shift.
The fact that the San Andreas knocks off a magnitude 7.5 or 8 earthquake every 100 years or so means we can't ignore it. However, what's new in the thinking is that the San Andreas, when it comes to Los Angeles, is out there 50 kilometers to the north. So the San Andreas is not underneath us. And what we've discovered is that when you are very close to a fault that ruptures an earthquake, you experience some very strong shaking, which is not the same as what you'll get even from a large earthquake at greater distance. And in addition, we've discovered, to our regret, that there are lots of active faults directly beneath the populated centers, which are capable of producing moderate to large earthquakes, larger earthquakes than we ever expected a decade ago.
As it turns out, there's a direct link between the San Andreas and all those faults under Los Angeles. Throughout most of its 800-mile journey, the San Andreas runs a straight course, But just north of Los Angeles, the fault takes a sudden turn. At this bend, the Pacific Plate and the North American plates no longer slide past one another, but actually collide head-on. Over millions of years, the constant banging at the bend has cracked the plate underlying Los Angeles into tiny pieces, creating a network of smaller faults that resemble a shattered pane of glass.
Because of that bend, all of the essentially broken shards of glass that makes up Southern California are being shoved up against a wall rather than just swept past it. And as they stack up against each other, these little pieces get jammed on top of each other. Some get pushed down, some get pushed up. We call that thrust faulting.
The collision of the two plates has compressed the ground under Los Angeles as though it were being squeezed in a giant vise. Every so often, the compression reaches a point where it forces one piece of earth to slide over another. The ground above has nowhere to go but up, and the result is an earthquake. Over time, the thrust faults that produce these earthquakes have given shape to California's scenery.
Earthquakes are what make California so wonderful. Whenever you see mountains in California, basically you should be thinking earthquakes, because there are probably faults pushing those mountains up. They have created all of our scenery, and what give us our mountains, our valleys, most of our water sources. Our springs all form up along fault lines, and we'd look like Kansas if we didn't have our faults and our earthquakes. It'd be a much flatter topography.
In the hills overlooking Los Angeles, geophysicist Andrea Donnellan is actually able to measure how much the Earth moves because of all this compression. For the first time, scientists can know the extent to which LA's landscape is being squeezed. And from that, they can then gauge how much strain is being put on the thrust faults deep underground. Someday, this information may provide clues about when and where LA's next earthquake may occur. Several years ago, Donnellan and her colleagues began setting up tiny antennas in various sites around Los Angeles to receive signals from orbiting satellites. Donnellan regularly monitors the position of those satellites relative to her receivers on the ground. After making some simple calculations, she can determine if the distance between the receivers has changed. Recently, Donnellan has witnessed her receivers inching closer together.
Ready?
The land is shrinking, perhaps a warning that more pressure is mounting along the thrust faults.
We know the LA basin is shortening. We don't know where it's shortening or what faults are taking up that motion. If the strains are very high, if the Earth is moving very quickly, then we suspect that there's something going on. We know there's active tectonic deformation, and then we try to figure out what faults are responsible for that.
This approach has already come close to forecasting one earthquake. In 1987, Donnellan and her colleagues began detecting pressure building in the mountains northwest of Los Angeles. For 6 years, the strain intensified. It looked like the region might be cranking up for an earthquake. 2 months before the Northridge earthquake erupted, she and her partners forecast a magnitude 6.4 event in the mountains northwest of downtown. Northridge was part of that area.
It looked like it was ready to snap because the strain was so high, which again means stress is building up, and also because there hadn't been an earthquake. And since the recurrence interval on these faults is 200 to 500 years, there hadn't been an earthquake in 200 years. We knew the earthquake could happen tomorrow or January 17th, or it could happen a century from now. We aren't sure, but it seemed as ripe as any area in Southern California to break.
After the Northridge quake, Donnellan used the satellites to confirm that the thrust faults had actually lifted the land. The Northridge shock buckled the ground upward, adding over 1 foot to the mountains surrounding the northern edge of the city. Most of the mountains that ring Los Angeles contain active thrust faults. Until recently, these mountains, or folds as geologists call them, were thought to grow very slowly, perhaps only a few millimeters every century. But two recent earthquakes called that into question.
A couple of earthquakes dramatically changed our mind. In 1980, there was a magnitude 7.3 earthquake in Algeria at a place called El Asnam. What happened in that earthquake was we had one of these dipping faults, and we actually saw the fold forming above this fault grow as much as 15 feet during this earthquake. And it was very clear from this earthquake that folds did not always grow slowly by creeping up. And in fact, they could grow episodically in jumps during really big earthquakes. That point was hammered home 3 years later by the 1983 Coalinga earthquake in central California.
Located halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco, the small town of Coalinga was virtually destroyed by a moderate-sized earthquake. It was triggered by a thrust fault close to the center of town. Coalinga is located in a valley surrounded by gentle hills. During the earthquake, the land jumped 2 feet and 3/4 of the town's buildings came down.
There were people buried underneath the rubble. We know that for a fact. It seems at this point that most have been pulled out, but no one at the scene seems to know exactly how many people were injured. You can see the utter devastation. This is all downtown Coalinga, the very center of Coalinga.
That was an earthquake of magnitude 6.5, essentially the same size as Northridge, in an area where nobody thought a large earthquake could occur. It was on a blind thrust fault.
This was the first time that a blind thrust fault caused major earthquake damage in California. When the fault erupted, it never broke the Earth's surface and couldn't be seen beneath the hills or folds outside of town.
So the fault's down here, the fold's above it. The only thing we see at the surface is the fold. We didn't see the fault. People did not appreciate this as a seismic hazard.
The Coalinga quake so took scientists by surprise that they didn't react immediately to its message.
At that time, a decade ago, the handwriting was on the wall. We should have fanned out in all directions and started hunting for these faults. We did so in a limited sense, and we began to realize that large earthquakes could occur underneath areas where there wasn't a fault at the surface, and of course, Northridge is the most recent example of that.
So blind thrust faults could be hiding virtually anywhere. When there's no break in the Earth's surface, there are few clues for the geologists who study earthquakes to investigate. So is there any way to find these faults before an earthquake occurs? It turns out that other geologists, those who look for oil, have been studying the Earth's layers under Southern California for decades. Before Los Angeles was densely populated, petroleum geologists scoured the city in search of oil, sending down shock waves and producing hundreds of seismic maps of the Earth's crust. For years, oil geologists have known that petroleum was trapped in pools underneath land that had folded into gentle hills.
Been a lot of oil prospecting in California, particularly in the LA basin, in urban LA, and produced billions of barrels of oil. That actually was good news. If you think about it, oil's less dense than water. It's going to flow up as high as it can go, and it'll typically flow up into the core of these folds, which we call anticlines.
Those hills filled with oil were actually created by earthquakes along blind thrust faults. Tom Davis and Jay Namsen are oil geologists who had spent years making underground maps of Southern California. In their quest to find new sources of petroleum, Namsen and Davis started looking for ancient hills that over millions of years had been hidden by other rock formations. The process had made the landscape appear flat, disguising the source of oil and the earthquake hazard underneath.
This was a very novel idea for the earthquake community, that there could be large earthquakes on faults that don't come to the surface. And to us, we had already been predicting those things throughout California. We just didn't realize the impact that it would have on seismic hazard studies in Southern California.
Okay, that'll be location 1.
To confirm their theory about hidden hills and the faults beneath them, the two geologists needed to know what the Earth looked like from the inside out.
It's Saugus, that's right.
So they began gathering information both above and below ground. Rock samples, along with the use of sound waves detailing the Earth's inner structure, helped them compile cross-section pictures 15 miles below ground. The pair began finding blind thrust faults in areas never considered to be at risk for earthquakes. And one of those blind thrusts appeared to run directly under downtown Los Angeles.
The moment of realization of this large fault under Los Angeles came when I really got all the well data together. And to me, it meant something as far as there had to be a very active, large thrust under downtown Los Angeles that no one knew about.
Davis had never imagined Los Angeles could sit atop such a massive and potentially dangerous fault.
And I spoke to a number of geologists at that time, and everyone was amazed. And the implications were clear to everyone within that, it was probably a few-week period, that if there really was a fault like this under downtown Los Angeles, it had some fairly serious implications as far as seismic hazard.
Davis originally called his discovery Fault A. Scientists later renamed it the Elysian Park Fault. And today, many consider the Elysian Park to be the city's most serious earthquake hazard.
The Elysian Park Fault could produce a really horrible earthquake. It could also produce a lot of Northridges, and we don't know. We don't have enough data right now, not because we can't know, but because the work just hasn't been done yet.
In 1987, just a few months after the discovery of the Elysian Park Fault, Los Angeles got a first-hand look at its destructive power. A small section of the massive fault snapped just 18 miles from downtown Los Angeles in the suburban community of Whittier.
In 1987, we had the real wake-up call for the Los Angeles area. We had the Whittier Narrows earthquake, a magnitude 6, really a pop on the record compared to Northridge. Nevertheless, on a blind thrust fault in LA, that's when we realized that LA is essentially sited on a set of knife blades. There are faults down there which we hadn't realized. And what we now have done is to look back around the world to other sites with similar conditions and see that earthquakes of magnitude 7 to 7.5 occur on these blind thrust faults, and so they presumably occur here as well.
All of a sudden, there was a major change in the way the earthquake hazard threatening Los Angeles was perceived. It was clear the entire city was crisscrossed with blind thrust faults, and even moderate earthquakes along one of those faults could be highly destructive.
What this has led us to is the inescapable conclusion that we're not looking at one big one. We're looking at a number of different potential big ones. And I think that does represent a shift in the way we've appreciated seismic hazards in LA in the past few years.
After the Whittier earthquake, Los Angeles began taking stock of the seismic threat lurking beneath its landscape. Today, experts believe that the city sits atop as many as 100 active earthquake faults, some of which hide beneath the most recognizable real estate in the country.
A lot of them go nearby some very famous landmarks. Grauman's Chinese Theater is just a couple hundred feet south of the Hollywood Fault. Capitol Records building, very distinctive building, downtown Hollywood, is just south of the Hollywood Fault. Fault runs right through Beverly Hills, through downtown Santa Monica. Dodger Stadium in the hills just northwest of the high-rise district sits above a fold that's formed above a blind thrust fault that goes right underneath the high-rise district of downtown LA that you see on the credits of LA Law. There are faults all over metropolitan Los Angeles.
To learn just how active these faults are, Jim Dolan has been digging in some of the city's most vulnerable areas. Underground, Dolan looks for evidence of movement along the faults.
What I'm doing here is called paleoseismology. Effectively, that just means the history of earthquakes, or the earthquake history of a specific fault. What we do is we dig trenches like we're in right now, and look for beds that have been offset by earthquake faults. And we try, from various patterns that we see and the way they're offset, we can determine where earthquakes have occurred in the sedimentary record that we're looking at.
The beds Dolan is examining are actually layers of the Earth's crust, piled up over millions of years. Sometimes embedded within these offsets are deposits of charcoal, left over from ancient brush fires. During an earthquake, the fault jolts the land upward and knocks the layers in the charcoal out of alignment. By dating the deposits of charcoal within each offset layer, Dolan can determine how long ago they were displaced by an earthquake.
By doing that, by getting the age on these deposits, we can develop a history of movement on these earthquake faults by how the beds have been offset.
This information tells Dolan how frequently faults tend to erupt, which he hopes will help him forecast future earthquakes. Many of the faults under Los Angeles haven't snapped in several thousand years and appear overdue for an earthquake. High levels of stress may be building under the city. Eventually, this pressure has to be released in one of two ways.
Either we can have a number of Northridge-sized, San Fernando-sized, magnitude 6.7, moderately large earthquakes, or we can have a much larger, although much less frequent, earthquake, possibly magnitude 7 or larger, on one of these faults within the metropolitan area. Both of those scenarios are equally plausible, given what we know about faults in LA at the present time.
Recent history seems to indicate that a series of moderate earthquakes is well underway. Over the past 25 years, Los Angeles has been rattled by a series of 10 moderate earthquakes. That cycle began in 1971 with a magnitude 6.7 shock in the San Fernando Valley. It was the first significant earthquake to strike LA since the Long Beach disaster in 1933. It was followed by a cluster of 9 more earthquakes that include the recent event in Northridge.
We are averaging one damaging earthquake in Los Angeles every year for the last 6 years. And we don't know what that means. We don't know why it's happening. But it is happening, and when you have a lot of earthquakes, you tend to have a lot of earthquakes, which means that as long as we continue at this rate, we've got to say our chances of another earthquake in Los Angeles in the next few years are pretty good.
Ross Stein thinks it's possible that some earthquakes may actually trigger other earthquakes. All tremors relieve stress along the fault where they occur. But Stein wondered if that stress somehow transferred its energy to other faults nearby, pushing them even closer to their breaking points. He created a computer model of LA's recent earthquake cluster to illustrate how stress seemed to shift after each event. What emerged was a butterfly pattern that seemed to suggest a cause and effect relationship among many of those quakes.
Now in this picture, we're plotting regions where the stress dropped in purple and places where the stress rose are red. And you can see that the stress dropped on the San Fernando Fault itself, but the stress has been transferred to its surrounding in this butterfly pattern. And of the two southern wings, you can see that one of the places where stress increased was the site of the future Northridge earthquake 23 years later, and the other one was the site of the future Whittier Narrows earthquake, the next largest shock to occur in the Los Angeles Basin area that occurred in 1987.
According to Stein's theory, all this stress being passed from fault to fault has created a condition where one earthquake can activate another, perhaps accelerating seismic activity in Los Angeles.
Now, are any of these stress changes enough to cause an earthquake? No. They're very small. If, on the other hand, you imagine that all of these faults are stressed up to near failure, then these small changes could be important, and they could direct us to the places that have a higher probability of rupturing next.
The Northridge earthquake appears to have transferred its stress in 4 different directions. Along one of its paths lies a fault of special concern. It is the largest under the city and one that hasn't ruptured for centuries. This fault may be close to its breaking point, and it runs directly under downtown, the Elysian Park Blind Thrust Fault. The Elysian Park Fault is at least 35 miles long, running under some of LA's most densely populated areas. It could snap in sections, causing a series of smaller quakes. Or it could explode all at once, launching a massive magnitude 7 or 7.5 quake directly under downtown Los Angeles.
The possibility of a magnitude 7.5 earthquake occurring directly beneath metropolitan Los Angeles the consequences would be truly devastating. Remember that for every unit of 1 you go up on the magnitude scale, you're releasing more than 30 times more energy. A magnitude 7.5 is 32 times more powerful than a magnitude 6.5. So a magnitude 7.5 earthquake underneath metropolitan Los Angeles would just be enormously more powerful and enormously more destructive than a Northridge type earthquake.
The possibility of such an event has spurred the state of California to commission a study anticipating what emergency crews might face. Damage is estimated up to $100 billion, while the number of people killed could total 5,000. Dick Andrews is director of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. It's his job to plan for disasters, but also keep them in perspective.
Obviously, it would be a catastrophic event. But again, if you take all of the numbers of people injured, the potential numbers of fatalities, and then you consider that, again, there are 15 million people that live in the Southern California, the Los Angeles metropolitan area. You're talking about a very small percentage of the overall population.
This is how the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake outside San Francisco looked. The shaking at the epicenter lasted for approximately 12 seconds. A magnitude 7 quake under downtown LA would shake twice as long.
And that means that a building that is fatigued by being shaken for a short period would be much more threatened by that longer period of shaking. So the difference is probably most important in the duration, how long everything is exposed to that strong shaking, as opposed to the shaking itself being stronger.
The impact upon LA's downtown skyscrapers is hard to gauge. Built to comply with the nation's strictest building codes, for years steel frame structures were thought to be flexible enough to withstand any kind of shaking. But they too may be in jeopardy. The aftermath of the Northridge earthquake revealed a subtle yet potentially disastrous problem. Welded joints holding together the metal beams were found to be cracked in over 100 steel frame buildings. John Hall, a structural engineer, was among the first to realize the grave implications.
Some of the buildings which we previously thought were going to survive the earthquake without much trouble, the steel buildings, are going to have problems. Severe damage, some of them are going to collapse.
Hall worries if the welds actually come apart, some buildings could tip over, as happened during the 1985 Mexico City earthquake. Studies are currently underway to prevent a similar scenario from happening in California. Los Angeles has over 2,000 miles of gas and water pipelines. If sections of this vast network rupture, a volatile mix of fire and water could spread over an area 6 times the size of the Northridge disaster. Southern California's coastline would face an entirely different kind of hazard, resembling what happened in the seaside community of Niigata, Japan in 1964 during a magnitude 7.4 earthquake. A magnitude 7 earthquake could churn LA's beach communities into a sea of mud, endangering hundreds of buildings and homes. According to a study commissioned by the state, 750,000 people will be left homeless after a magnitude 7 earthquake along the Elysian Park Fault.
People ask me frequently, where can I go in LA to get away from earthquakes? Should I move? And I think that's the wrong question. It's not a question of trying to get away from earthquakes, it's trying to learn to deal with them.
Earthquakes are a never-ending story in Los Angeles, and the city's resiliency depends in part on the action taken before the next one strikes.
Clearly, you're never finally ready for something like that, but you simply go with what you have. You know, when the emergency occurs, I like to cite a kind of takeoff on an old phrase of John Lennon's when he said, you know, life is what happens while you're busy making plans. We've discovered here in California, disasters are what happens while you're busy making disaster plans. And so you can't just focus on the plans, you got to be able to execute those plans.
The study of earthquakes is still a relatively young science. Ironically, what little is known about the Earth's seismic secrets can only be advanced through each successive quake and the clues it leaves behind.
So we feel like we're on the hunt of a process of which we know too little about, and Northridge is really continuing that story. Maybe we've seen a structure by which we can fit together this sequence of large earthquakes that we've had, maybe not. We're sniffing around, but we're terribly short of all the clues that we need. In a sense, we've got a few cards, but we're never dealing with the whole deck.
But with every tremor comes new understanding, not only in Los Angeles, but in earthquake zones throughout the world.
Many of the major cities of the world are located in sedimentary basins similar to that of Los Angeles, and may also be having problems with blind thrusts, and they just haven't had the study to figure that out. So we have the potential here for helping not only Los Angeles, but the rest of the world.
While science slowly expands its understanding, seismic pressure continues to build underneath Los Angeles, pushing its thrust faults ever closer to their breaking points.
We're going to have to liquid
With all eyes now focused on Southern California as the world's seismic laboratory, the question is no longer if an earthquake will strike, but how soon.
Killer quake. That was very educational. Also, who is that narrator? I forget. That was a fascinating mix of, I don't know, the human drama that comes with disasters and a lot of science.
A production of WGBH Boston. Funding for NOVA is provided by
Merck, dedicated to pharmaceutical research, committed to discovery, improving health, extending life. Merck.
And Lockheed, America's aerospace company, supporting math, science, and engineering education for national technology leadership. Major funding for NOVA is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by annual financial support from viewers like you. For a transcript of the NOVA program you've just seen, send $5 to this address or call 1-303-831-9000.
Whew. All right. Thank you, viewers like you. All right, I'm going to clean the VCR. Here's my plan. A brief palette cleanser tape, like 20-25 minutes, followed by a feature presentation of perhaps Canadian Animation Festival. So let me get on that. Got a lot to do. Talk amongst yourselves. I really need to screw the cover back on my VCR at some point. There she is. All right. Liquid hole time. The one and only, the dependable, never let us down, realistic video head cleaning tape. Everybody say it with me. We love you, liquid hole. 1, 2, 3, 4 drops in the liquid hole. Make sure our speed is set to SP. Get our cleaning tape in there and record and play. All right, now as for a palette cleanser tape, I'm going to make a poll because we love democracy. We have time for, we can watch. I'm thinking something light. So we can do American Cultures for Children with Felicia Rashad. Let's see, that would be Japanese American Felicia Rashad. Or we can do, let's see, a Mighty Machines, in particular Mighty Machines at the construction site. Or we can do Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Here is your poll. Did it do? Is there a poll up? I made the poll. Did I click the wrong button? Oh, good. There it is. Oh man, Mighty Machines is pulling ahead. Yeah, Mighty Machines, you may be confusing it with Micro Machines. Although I'm not sure. Okay, so it's looking like Mighty Machines will be the winner of our poll. That's great for me, because I'm going to go get some coffee. And when we return, it'll be time for, well, we can pick, I suppose. This one's, we have Computer Animation Festival, which is 60 minutes, and we have this bad boy, which is 90. Either one, I think, would make a fantastic feature presentation. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me grab Mighty Machines. Oh god. This one is not not rewound, but it's only 27 minutes. So We'll get there. We'll get it rewound. Wait. Oh, shit. I put the wrong tape back in the cleaner box. How could that be? How could I screw it up so badly? Video head cleaner tape. All right. What are we watching, folks? It's Mighty Machines at the construction site. Ah, that's right. We've seen Demolition Site and the city and the fire station and the racetrack. Now we have Mighty Machines at the construction site. Mighty Machines is a fascinating series featuring exciting live-action footage, friendly and informative characters, dynamic music, and delightful humor that will capture the imaginations of young and old alike. Join a Big Cat the Caterpillar, Shovel, as he takes us on an action-packed tour of the construction site. Meet Skinny, Lurch, and Boomer, the incredibly big and strong mobile cranes that lift huge loads sky high. First, Boomer lifts the massive wall forms. Then it's Skinny's job to fill them up with heaps of concrete to make the walls of a skyscraper. Follow along with small Putt-Putt. Oh man, is this going to be a knockoff of Putt-Putt the car? Putt-Putt, who powerfully performs big jobs in the small places where big machines can't go. These delightful characters deliver big sounds, big pictures, and big thrills. Guaranteed to be a unique and fantastic excursion, Mighty Machines is a remarkable video series destined to become a favorite in your video library. Look for the other great Mighty Machines titles. Collect them all for ages 3 to 8. And it has a very Canadian closed caption logo, which I guess is what tells you that it... Do Canadians have captions in English and French, like on the same track? Oh, it's that. Very Canadian, right? I know. Does it mean it has the word A in it a lot? I said it meant maybe that it's in French too, but, you know, Canadians are proud of their Francophone heritage and the fact that they say A a lot. We're proud of you, Canadians. Haley is proud of you. Okay. Right. Killer Quakes goes in this box. Haley, everyone says your fit is immaculate. It's true, isn't it? Oh. Oh, baby. All right, we are rewound. Let's get to it. Clear the tape counter. Play the tape. Mighty Machines. Please enjoy this lighthearted palate cleanser. Ironically, we're also seeing like building... Well, I guess it's not the demolition site. In our headcanon here is that, I guess... Big Cat and Skinny and Lurch and Boomer and the gang are rebuilding after an earthquake in which 70 people died. So it's fun and lighthearted. Mighty Machines. Are you ready for the theme song? Le film Seville.
Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty
look at that picture. Thank you, Liquid Hole.
Flying so high, building a building up to the sky. You can watch them all day and never know.
Oh, it's Dusty. A Dusty cameo. All right, I'm getting coffee. It's about time.
Watch them soar, sit right down and see. There are stories to enjoy for every girl and boy. Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines.
Welcome to the construction site, kids. I'm a Caterpillar shovel. Around here, my friends call me Big Cat. The construction site is always a busy place. But since you've all taken the time to come and visit, my friends and I are only too glad to show you around. This is where the gang and I are working right now. Believe it or not, this is going to be a hospital where sick people will come to get all better again. To build this hospital, it takes many different kinds of machines doing a lot of different jobs. So today, I'm going to introduce you to all my friends, and they're going to tell you what their jobs are. Let's go and have a quick visit with them first. This is Skinny. He's one of my tallest friends. Buongiorno, a big cat. He's part of the crane family. There are 5 of them working here at the construction site. These cranes are mobile. That means they can move from place to place, doing lots of different jobs. And there's Trez. She's not the biggest bulldozer you'll ever see, but she sure is busy.
How you doing, Big Cat?
I'm doing great. There's Charlie. He brings all the concrete to the site.
Hey, Big Cat. Nice to see ya. Looks like a busy place around here today.
And there's Mallory. She's a forklift. She's a big help when we have to move things around the site.
Nice to see you, Big Cat.
How's everything going, Mallory?
Oh, just great. I'm working with Lurch this morning and helping him get these materials to their proper place.
And last but not least, there's George the dump truck. He delivers all the sand to the site. Well, kids, now that you've met most of my friends, why don't you watch me do my work? With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, I'm singing my digging song. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, and it won't take very long. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, we'll build up to the sky. With a dig, dig, diggy, and a dig, dig, do, a building that's really high. By using this measuring stick, we can tell if the hole is deep enough. Whoops! Looks like we need to dig a little more. This hospital is an interesting project. That's my operator, Max. Instead of digging one great big hole, I'm digging lots of smaller holes for concrete support pads. It's important that each hole is just right because these pads will support the building once it is built and keep it standing straight. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, I'm singing my digging song. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, and it won't take very long. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, we'll build up to the sky. With a dig, dig, diggy, and a dig, dig, do, a building that's really high. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, I'm singing my digging song. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, and it won't take very long. With a dig, dig, diggy, I'm dig, dig, digging, we'll build up to the sky. With a dig, dig, diggy, and dig, dig, do, a building that's really high. While I work on digging more holes, you kids can take a tour of the whole site. I see Lurch unloading a big truck.
Hey kids, come on over and visit me. On big sites like this one, trucks are delivering materials all day long. And it's my job to get the materials off the truck and deliver them to where they're going to be used. Big guy like me has a strong arm. That makes it easy for me to pick up all kinds of stuff. Watch me move these beams. No sweat. I see my sister's moving some pretty neat things around. Let's go take a look.
Hi, kids. I'm Boomer. Today, I'm helping to build the walls. These shapes you see aren't really the walls, they're molds. Once they're in place, concrete is poured into these molds and they make the shape of the walls. Watch this. Here's a big piece. Once I get it close, the workers help me put it in just the right place. On the other side of the site, they're already starting to pour concrete into some of the molds. Come on, let's watch.
Hiya, kids! You're just in time. I'm a Skinny. Look at this. One wall, she's a-coming up. You see those steel rods? They make the wall so strong. Time for more concrete. I gotta swing the bucket over to the truck for another load. You know, loading, she never really takes long. Before you know it, my bucket is filled to the brim. Ah, Belle, it looks like that should just about do it. Here we go. On a building like this, it takes thousands of loads to get the job done. But no matter how busy I get, I must always remember to work safely. There's another wall done. This is my operator, Steve. We work so great together. We got a lot more to do here, so why don't you go back and visit Lurch?
Well, kids, as you can see, we cranes play a really important role here at the construction site. Whether it's carrying supplies, lifting forms, or pouring concrete, it's us that makes everything happen. But we big machines don't work alone, you know. There are lots of workers who help us get the job done. Now it's beginning to look like a building. Let's go inside and watch them pour the floor.
Hello, I'm Putt-Putt. I might look small, but I sure can carry a heavy load. Fill her up. Floors are made of concrete as well. Around the site because I can take the concrete to places the big machines can't go. Watch me steer around these pillars. No sweat. Today, we're finishing up the ground floor. All we have left is this small corner. That beeping sound you hear is from the measuring stick. The workers use it to measure the depth of the concrete. If it's not the same, the floor wouldn't be even. Perfect! Before the concrete gets too hard, the workers smooth it out, so it's nice to walk on. Nice work.
Well, kids, my friends and I have given you a good look at what a building looks like at the beginning. Now we're going to send you downtown so you can see what a building looks like when it's almost finished. Hi, kids. I'm Skyhook. I build the skyscrapers. I've been working on this building for 2 years. By now, I've reached the 30th floor. When you get up this high, the air is clear and the view is great. And more importantly, I get a chance to admire all the buildings I've been lucky enough to work on before this one. You see that glass skyscraper? Well, that was my last job. I'm proud of the work I do. When you do a job this big, you need more than one crane. This is my partner, Carmen. We share the work. He works on one side of the building while I work on the other. My next job is to lift some cement blocks. All of the supplies get delivered on the ground, and I'm the one who brings them to the top. Here they come. That's Sebastian, my operator. He's concentrating very, very hard. These blocks are going to the floor below, where they will be made into walls. While I finish up here, why don't you see what Carmen's up to?
Today, my job is to lift the walls of the skyscraper into position. One of the workers on the ground carefully attaches the wall to my hook. Once everything is attached, he radios my crane operator and tells him that everything is ready. I'm all set, so here we go. My operator can't see over the edge of the building, so he talks on the walkie-talkie to the workmen on the ground to make sure that everything is okay. Once it gets to the top, it gets moved into position. Nice and easy now. When the wall is in place, that's when the welder comes and attaches it permanently. That looks interesting. I wonder what it is.
It's for me, Carmen. I've been waiting for this all day. It's part of the building's air conditioning system. Here we go. You know, this looks pretty heavy, but it's not too heavy for me because I'm really strong. Yeah. I just have to be careful that I don't bang it against the building. Other than that, it's really pretty easy for a big guy like me. Yeah, we're almost there. Going right up to the top of the building. Here it comes. When I'm lifting big pieces of machinery like this, I've got to go nice and slow. Perfect fit. Carmen and I enjoyed showing you what we do. Maybe someday you'd like to work on a construction site with us. So long. My friends and I have really enjoyed showing you around. The next time you drive by a construction site or visit a big building, I hope you remember all the machines that made it possible. Thanks for visiting. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Crane.
Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines, lifting and pulling and flying so high, building a building up to the sky. You can watch them all day and never know why they're mighty machines. Hear them roar, watch them soar, sit right down and see.
Henry Pruss, Polaroid Canada, and Big Boy.
For every girl and boy, mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines.
All right. How did we enjoy Mighty Machines? It's been a while since we've had one of those. I have to admit that the fun kid stuff is a nice change of pace, a nice palate cleanser when we need one. The stuff I get most excited about is the obscure, weird stuff. And particularly the less commercial stuff, but these are nice to have around. Well, are you all ready for our feature presentation? Are you all ready to stare into the toothy maw of Canada with the National Film Board of Canada's Animation Festival? Let me make sure this actually showed up. Oh, good, it did. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. Something, something, true north. Canada. the National Film Board of Canada's Animation Festival, sent in by Green Day Rock. Thank you, Green Day. You've seen some, not quite all, but some of the tapes that Green Day sent in being scanned earlier today. This is one of them, and it looks pretty amazing. This outstanding collection features 11 exhilarating new films and 5 classic moments from the National Film Board of Canada's world-famous animation studios. Creativity and innovation have propelled National Film Board of Canada animation through 5 decades. Norman McLaren founded the first NFB animation studio in 1941. Since then, NFB's award-winning animation studios across the country have produced over 700 films. This acclaimed collection features the trademark brilliance that keeps the NFB at the cutting edge of creative animation. What is the National Film Board of Canada? This makes it sound like they have like state-subsidized animation studios, which I'm all for. The 16 offerings in this extraordinary collection are agile, quick, and unabashedly quirky, says Bruce Kirkland of the Toronto Sun. And Jeff Manel of The Hollywood Reporter raves animation film fans will revel in each dedicated frame of fun. So, take a quick look at the list of featured films. We'll be starting out with the Balgony Birdman by Brian Ducksher. And then from there, we'll move on to several more. I'll, perhaps I can just post the name of each segment in the chat as it comes up, so I'm not interrupting the tape. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, Bella. Animation Festival. The National Film Board of Canada. The same folks that brought us Path of the Paddle and the other Bill Mason thing where he hung out with wolves. So here we go. This, I'm not sure how much computer animation we'll see or if it's mostly traditional animation. This is from 1992. So we'll see what the state of the art was for the official state animation studios of Canada. Here we go. And thank you again to Green Day for sending this one in. This one looks like an artifact of some value. Bingo points granted. It was a great montage. Morning, Trill. We're just digging into Canadian Animation Festival. This is our first film, The Balgony Birdman.
Now, they like to tell you nobody's got secrets in a little prairie town. But my friend Bill Gibson had one, and it was a doozy. Bill had to sneak around at night because he owed folks a whole swat of cash. And if they'd known what he was doing with it, they'd have been mighty displeased. You see, Bill Gibson was a a dreamer. In his time, he'd been a gold panner, an explorer, an inventor, and a railway promoter. Well, none of those had come to much. But now he was caught by a dream that had him by the throat and wouldn't let him go. Yep, Bill Gibson was building a flying machine. He was going to be the first man in Canada to fly like a bird, if he could finish before his secret got out. After this, well, Bill figured that maybe Saskatchewan just wasn't ready for the age of flight. So he moved to British Columbia, where they could appreciate a man with new ideas. I read Bill's notice in the paper and went down right away to give him a hand. Bill, I said, Lockie McLaughlin here. That's me, mechanic, handyman, and real good with ideas. Well, anyway, Bill was starting right from scratch. Built himself a brand new engine, the patented Gibson dual air screw counter rotating aereo engine. Whew, there's a mouthful. All he needed to make history was the right set of wings. And that's where I came in. For 3 years, Bill worked away at his designs, mostly on his own. I'd just drop by now and again with a pointer or two. Then came that day in '09. I never will forget it.
Tape.
When I read that headline, I knew we were in trouble. Some telephone guy in Nova Scotia had built a flying machine, and he'd beaten Bill to the punch. Oh, poor Bill. I could see he was ready to throw it all in. I had to act fast. Bill was so grateful to see me. Of course, once he realized what I had to offer, he gave me a job on the spot. Bill was a dreamer, but he wasn't too practical. But with a few pointers from me, he was soon on the right track. Why, in no time at all, Bill and I had that contraption ready to fly. We called it the Gibson Twin Plane Flying Machine, Mark I. I decided to let Bill make the first flight. After all, it was his aeroplane. I just worked my mechanical magic on the engine and let her rip.
Darling, there's no denying your love is mesmerizing. As we tightly fly back to your arms, let God cross the clouds and blue sky. With my birds I do find that the free world below by and by.
Now, it's true that landing in a tree hadn't been part of the plan, but Bill wasn't a fella to let details get in the way of his dream. We'd hardly finished picking up the pieces when he was hip deep in a new design. I knew Bill was going to build another plane, but deep down I figured it was time for me to move on. Bill got a bit emotional, but he could see that I was eager to try out a little idea of my own. I admit there were a few problems I had yet to work out.
Thank you, Dishnet. Hope you can enjoy some Canadian animation.
But like Bill always said, you got to grab hold of a dream and see where it takes you.
That was our first of 11 films and 5 little clips. Give it up for Russ Dick. I love bringing a Victrola to your flight. Next up is Ottawa 1990 Signal Films. Oh, the NFB grocery bags. I love it. That's beautiful. Where to even begin? The Royal Canadian Mounties dutifully delivering a pizza. Go Ottawa. 3D Ottawa. Oh, I get it. It's like a Nickelodeon. That was Ottawa 90 Signal Films. Up next, oh, beautiful. Up next will be by Les Drew, Every Dog's Guide to the Playground.
Dear Sammy, this is your cousin Wally. It's been some time since I last wrote. How are things at the Broken Tail Puppy Farm? How am I doing, you ask eagerly? Being a blue safety dog isn't all fun. But for now, everything seems to be under control. Although Bernard at times still gives me trouble.
But honey, we can't lose. The cash is as good as ours.
I'll write some more later.
We just enter the dog in this contest and watch the money roll in.
A contest? What contest?
It says right here, your pooch could be Dog of the Year. Enter the Iron Dog Contest. Big cash prizes. It's just the thing for that bright, intelligent dog of ours.
Well, you must promise not to hurt him.
Who, me? Hurt the little guy? I'll treat him like my own son. And besides, we can use the extra cash for the new baby.
Oh, yes. That reminds me. This time, don't faint.
For crying out loud, I did not faint. I was tripped by a frog.
Tripped? You fainted.
I tripped.
Fainted.
Tripped.
Fainted.
Tripped.
Fainted.
Tripped. So, how about the contest?
Yes, I guess it's okay. You fainted.
Little did I realize what was in store for me. There I was trying out the roller skates you sent me for my birthday and thinking about a topic for my thesis.
Here, doggy, doggy, doggy. Daddy has a surprise for you.
Snickers. Just when I was getting the hang of it.
So here you are, and still lazing around, I see. I've noticed how lethargic, indolent, torpid, inert, and inactive you've become. Slothful, even. Don't look it up. You know what I mean. What I have in mind is to turn you into an athlete, a powerhouse, a dynamite dog. Get the picture? With my brains and a little effort on your part, you could become Iron Dog of the Year. What do you say?
I think you fainted.
This is so delightful.
As you can see, Sammy, I was facing a difficult situation.
I love this dog.
Okay, dog, let the training begin. Up, down, on your back. Up one, up two, up three. Honey, I'm taking the dog for a run in the park.
Oh, we'll come too. Junior can play while I sit and knit.
Left, right, left, right, left, right. Pick it up, dog. Left, right. Come on, dog.
The
left,
park.
Right.
Yes, I remember. The Every Dog's Guide, Section 7, Paragraph 9, says, a field or grass-covered area with various apparati to play on, to thrill and excite children of all ages, to promote skills in coordination and dexterity. Seems a good topic for my thesis. There's a footnote. Adult supervision is essential when young children are involved. I better keep an eye on Junior.
Left, right. Pick it up, dog. Left, right. Come on, dog. Left, right. Halt! Stay. Sit. I said stay. Sit. Good dog. Stay. Sit. I'll go check the hockey arena.
Off you go, Junior. Have fun in the park. Wally, if I need something, I'll blow.
I hate dog whistles.
The first sport we're going to tackle is ice hockey. Here's your skates, sweater, stick, pucks. I know what you're thinking, but
So
iron
Canadian.
dogs don't wear helmets. It's not macho.
I studied the rules and memorized them instantly. I'd still feel safer in a helmet, and a set of pads would be nice too.
Okay, dog, let's play one-on-one. Come at me. Give it all you got. Dazzle me.
Get the black rubber thing in the net. Seems easy enough.
This reminds me a little bit of like early Matt Groening stuff, like Life in Hell.
Now it's my turn. Try and stop this one, dog. Lots of fun, eh, dog?
Vet. Call a vet. My efforts at being an athlete are not going too well. but it's good material for my thesis. Ah, I think I'm needed.
Wally, be a dear and hold the wool.
At least this is harmless. Hey, sounds like Junior's in difficulty. Sit, sit, stay. I said sit.
Jump to it, dog. Nothing waits for baseball. These are the rules. You need a glove, a bat, and a ball.
Bet I need a helmet again.
Now throw the ball like this. Make it sizzle.
Yep, definitely a helmet situation.
What's that? Your dead ball?
Maybe it needs winding up.
I'd better throw. You take the bat. No, not like that. Like this. You try it.
Oh no, I've killed it.
Run, you silly dog, run! No, stupid, to first base, stupid dog.
So I'm stupid, am I? Let's get serious. Let's play ball.
Slide, dog, slide! Yeah! Nice try, dog, but you're just not cut out for baseball.
Baseball can be great fun, Sammy, as long as you don't get hit by a ball, a bat, or sprain an ankle or wrist, or fall over, or crash into yourself. Apart from that, hey, wouldn't have missed it.
Yeah, he was definitely safe.
Wally, dear, I need more wool.
I find this quite relaxing.
Whoop.
It's such a great gag. Howdy, everybody. We're just a couple of shorts into the National Film Board of Canada's
Say, have you seen a
Animation
badly
Festival.
drawn blue dog?
It's pretty great. A badly drawn blue dog.
I hope it shrinks when I shower. Gosh, it's time for my roller skating lesson. I promised Sammy I'd practice every day.
Sammy, your cousin is a wonderful dog. Although finding drapes to match his particular shade of blue was a problem. But apart from that, we're all very pleased with his progress.
Well, dog, I've decided you're just not iron dog material. I know how disappointed you must be, but let's face it, you're a failure.
I hate that whistle!
Bernard! It's here! Get me to a hospital! And don't you dare think!
So this dog is like a parentified child, but he's the dog. He's a parentified dog.
Dr. Rosenblatt. Dr. Rosenblatt.
Hey, it looks like me. Is that mine too? Just a second, dog. Those can't be mine. Okay, dog, you can stop now. This isn't funny anymore. Please, stop. I'm gonna call the director. This whole thing is a setup. The dog is lying. It's all a trick. I want my lawyer. I'm gonna sue. I'll never make another cartoon again. Hey, I'm a professional actor and I had my own TV show once. You can't...
Sammy, it's almost chow time. I better sign off. One thing's for sure. I now have enough material for my thesis. What's that you say? You find all this difficult to believe? But it's all true, every word. And besides, would I lie to you?
Beautiful. That was Every Dog's Guide to the Playground. That had so much character. Great animation. Our next short will be a little one, a vignette, Parasite by John Weldon. That was a vignette. Parasite. Up next is, whoops, Jour de Plaine. Days of the Plain. Is that what that means? By Réal Bérard and André Leduc. Put an extra P in there.
Jusqu'à la mer, il y a des jours de plaine, on voit plus loin que la terre, il y a des jours de plaine, on entend parler nos grands-pères dans le vent. Il y a des jours de plaine, j'ai vu des métis en peinture de guerre, il y a des jours de plaine. J'entends gémir la langue de ma mère, il y a des jours de plaine, on n'entend plus rien à cause du vent. J'ai grandi sur la plaine, je connaissais en guerre des sévents. J'ai les racines dans la plaine, et toutes ces des racines en France, aussi longues que la terre, une langue qui danse, aussi bien que ma mère, une grande famille, des milliers de frères et sœurs, dans le temps.
J'ai des racines en France, aussi forte que la mer, j'ai une langue qui pense, une langue belle et fière, des milliers de mots pour les dire, comment je vis, qui je suis.
This is a song by Daniel Lavoie. I'm gonna have to listen to it later and read the lyrics. But from what I can tell, it's about, people from France immigrating to the plains in Canada and bringing their heritage with them and the culture that they built there, a celebration of it.
Je n'entends plus la langue de ma mère, il y a des jours de plein. Même mes grands-mères sont plus dans le vent. J'ai grandi sur la plaine, je connaissais l'anglais.
It is, yeah. Jeu de plaine. I like Canada. I like the cultural diversity of Canada. To an American, the rich French Canadian history and the rich native cultures that are still preserved that's really neat. Which is why I don't understand the Anglophone chauvinism that a lot of people have or seem to have. Two Sisters by Carolyn Leaf is our next film. I've been to Montreal. I've met Quebecois. They're very nice to me. They had delicious poutine and delicious pizza. Delicious pastrami sandwiches.
Thank you, Marie. Walk. No. Stroll.
Coffee.
No. Yes. Oh. Walk. Yes. Yes. Oh, no. No, that's it. That's it. No. No, it's not. Damn. That's better.
better. Here, look at yourself, Viola.
I see a difference.
I see no change at all.
Marie.
That's better.
Viola! Marie! No! Viola! No! No! Marie!
My God, the doors.
Please, I've come to see Viola J.
So, Viola, you send your stories out, and this is what washes up on our shore.
This is Viola J.
Ah.
I've read everything you've written. Everything. Every word. Every word.
Time's up. Visit's over. Time to go. The cup, Viola. No. No, you'll cut yourself. You have cut yourself.
Would you write something for me?
Viola, you don't want to go out there. You're a freak. We're sisters, Viola. Come. Let me make lunch. And everything will be like it was before.
it up! Oh. Leave it open. Viola, there are sharks out there, everywhere. Sharks. Sharks. Lucky I have you. Me too. I'm lucky I have you.
That was Two Sisters by Carolyn Leaf. Up next we have The Irises by Suzanne Gervais and Jacques Giraudoux. Yeah, like early Nickelodeon in like the late 80s and early 90s was full of like independent shorts that were just there to fill time. Stuff similar to this.
I have $34, $35 million. At $35 million now for it. At 35, $36 million. $37 million. 37 now. 38, 39, 40 million. 41 million. 42 million. 43 million. 44 million. $45 million. $45 million. $46 million. $47 million. $48 million for it. $49 million, Ford. I have $49 million against you. $49 million on the far phone. $49 million. $49 million then on the far phone. So, $49 million.
Oh, jeez. I thought it was like a land auction, like we were seeing this beautiful scene, and then imagining that it was being just arbitrarily sold to some land developer that was going to bulldoze all the beauty we were seeing painted in front of us. But yeah, no, that works. I like that one. Next up is a classic moment from George and Rosemary.
When the sun was nice and warm, George would sit on his front porch, watching whatever passed by. There was, however, a more important reason for his outdoor activities. He had a passion for the lady across the street.
Is she sunning her goldfish? Got the cankles. Such character, such attention to detail. I love it. That was one of 5 clips from other productions that were included on this tape, so we don't get the full story. Next up, we have Strings from Wendy Tilby. This reminds me a lot of Russian animators. It was a popular Soviet style, the like painting every frame. There was a guy, Alexander Petrov was one of my favorite animators when I was really into, like when I was going to school for animation originally. He made The Old Man in the Sea, which is just absolutely beautiful. And he would paint every frame like oil paints on panes of glass, and then photograph it, and then smudge it out and repaint and photograph it. It's just a tremendous amount of labor. Which is, I think, even more stunning and beautiful in an age of computer-assisted, and now like AI-assisted art production. Yeah, that's it. It's like, that's like his masterpiece. Just every single frame of that movie is like a fully rendered oil painting. Come to think of it, yeah, like I've seen like ribs of that, of The Old Man in the Sea online, but I would love to like see it in theater, in a theater in its full glory. I'm glad. Yeah, this one is. I haven't been fully paying attention, but this one is a real slow burn. It makes me think of the John Prine song "Hello" in there, about like the loneliness of old age. But then also, did the crystal chandelier kill those musicians downstairs because of her bathtub leak? A lot feels unresolved. I mean, the musicians, I guess they were his friends. I probably could have picked up on that part if I'd been paying closer attention. We saw them get into a cab and leave, so, like, it's just a little vignette, I guess, about people living quiet lives alone. This is a classic moment from The Big Snit, which I had to reread several times on the back of the box.
Are you ready?
Yeah, don't... What are you doing?
Aw, did you look at my letters?
No,
You looked at my letters.
I did not.
You did.
If you think I did, then you're just one of those people who thinks like
You
that.
really disappoint me. You looked at my letters.
Well, thank you very much. I did not. I could have, but I didn't.
Why can't we see this whole thing?
I do not.
Well, you do.
I do not.
You do so.
I'm sorry, but I do not.
You do. I've seen you do it 100 times.
This woman is both Homer Simpson and Marge Simpson.
Stop sawing the table.
What? I'm not.
Why do you always saw everything in this house?
Why are you always shaking your eyes?
I don't shake them
Yes,
like I used
you
to.
do. You're always shaking your eyes here. Shaking your eyes there. Shake it here. Shake it there. Why don't you go join some stupid shake and rock and roll band?
I know.
Hey, shake your eyes at me, lady. That's what they say.
I do not.
And I thought you wanted to play some Scrabble.
I did. You don't. And stop sawing the table.
I'm not.
You are sawing the table.
I'm not. I'm not.
I love that. That was from The Big Snit. Next up, The Lump by John Weldon. Filmed in living recyclamation. Oh my God, I love this.
George was a very fine fella. He was known as a really good sport. George was never too popular. George was unattractive and short. He couldn't get served in a restaurant if he cried garçon all day. And when he tried to feed the pigeons in the park, the pigeons all flew away. No, nature had not been kind to George.
Buttock floss?
He even found his mother in the arms of another little boy. When other folks danced with the opposite sex, George would dance with a mop. And if he tried to flirt with a lady, she'd invariably call a cop. Yes, the world had rejected George. The only job he could find was as a model for a gargoyle sculptor. George's
This is so great.
life was a meaningless sham. He thought he'd be better off dead. Then one day he looked in the mirror and saw a lump growing out of his head. So George went off to a medical man, and the medical man did say that the lump was perfectly harmless and the lump would have to stay.
When my doctor pulls my head off,
Yeah, take these
kisses it
photos.
gently.
When George woke up next morning, he found that the lump had grown. It now had human features which were handsomer than his own. To go through life like this, thought George, would be a great disgrace. So he pulled his shirt on top of his head and buttoned it over his face. Now this made George appear taller and handsomer than he really was. Suddenly life changed. Waiters became servile. Dogs and pigeons vied for his attention. Vending machines gave him extra change. He was still popular as an artist's model, although he refused to appear undraped. George was invited to functions. The hosts believed the hoax. They gathered round our hero and laughed at his worst jokes. Suddenly George was lionized, his social life did jump. The pigeons ate his popcorn and the ladies loved his lump. George became so popular, in fact, that other careers beckoned. Feeling that show business would prove too challenging, George entered politics.
Equal rights for slugs and bugs.
A bunch of political backroom boys were hatching up a plan. Their party had no leadership. They had to find a person. George had all the appropriate qualifications. George ignored the issues. He acted like a dunce. But George could kiss the babies and the mothers both at once. George was quickly swept to power. When there were decisions to be made, George left them to others. He just basked in his newfound power and glory. His one regret was that he could never reveal his guilty secret. And what George didn't know was that his advisors were incompetent and corrupt. George never guessed that his colleagues were largely a bunch of crooks. They all had their hands in the cookie jar and frequently fixed the books.
Mr. Shreddy.
They grew wealthier. The people grew poorer.
Feeding a binder labeled payoffs into Mr. Shreddy is a mood.
Some radicals raised a protest. Dissension did arise. And when the revolution came, it took George by surprise. Before the great tribunal, George and his colleagues stood. Their crimes were documented. To deny them did no good. To try and plead his innocence was just a waste of breath. The verdicts all were guilty, and the penalties all were death. The guard said, stick your heads in here, and soon those things will drop. The crowd all cried out, hip hooray, while the blades went chop, chop, chop. Well, George was unattractive again and possibly even shorter than before.
Preparation Q. Stink no
and
more.
Although George lived a long and healthy life,
Sit, kill.
He never saw the lump again.
This tape was compiled in '92, so it was sometime before then.
Rules the land. George doesn't mind at all.
Yeah, this is from 1991.
But now
The NFB has an official YouTube channel.
he wishes he were handsomer and tall. Poor George, though he was a real good sport.
I would assume it's an allegory.
He was really ugly and short.
That was incredible. This is probably my favorite thing we've seen on this tape so far. The classic moment from The Big Snit and Every Dog's Guide to the Playground were also really good. I'm Maynard the 8th, I am Maynard the 8th, I am. This is a classic moment from Martin Barry's Juke Bar. Another 2-minute clip. I've heard the Hermits version of that song. It may not surprise you to know that I'm actually familiar with it because of the 1910 Harry Champion version. It's an old music hall song. Although actually I think I first heard it from the 60s version because my dad was listening to it or referencing it at some point. All right, this is The Apprentice, no relation, from Richard Conde. Richard Conde is the same guy that animated the Scrabble segment that we saw a minute ago, the big snit. Oh, this reminds me. Has anyone seen the movie The Last Unicorn from 1982? Haley and I watched it last night. It's really good. I was really pleasantly surprised by it. It was Rankin and Bass, too, that produced it. Oh my god, the harpy? The harpy with the titties? Yeah, I really appreciated the soundtrack. The scene where Molly Grew first sees the unicorn and is like pissed off at her because of, and you can feel like the weight of the life she's lived, and that was a really, really amazing scene. It's like, why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you appear to me when I was a young maiden? Why did you wait until I'm this? Yeah, I kind of want to. I'm interested in reading the book now. Speaking, we were talking about children's literature earlier. Canada loves spiders. If you're Canadian, you eat 100 spiders every day. This definitely has a similar energy to the the Scrabble tape, or the Scrabble clip. It's just like cartoonishly grotesque. The sun is just screaming as it goes down. While our inept hero gargles up smiley faces. It's truly inspired to have dialogue that consists of nothing but indistinct moaning and yelling. And he's just dead. The end. absurdist Wile E. Coyote style fantasy swashbuckling. Oh my god, that was sort of words. No one learned anything. I love that. No rights were wronged. No wrongs were righted. No lessons were learned. Beautiful. All right, we just have 2 shorts and one, two clips and 1 short film left. Up next is a classic moment from Get a Job by Brad Castlor.
Unemployed, out of work, at your wit's end? New from J-Tel. Get a job. 25 big working hits, 25 original stars. Need a job? Here's how to get it. Hear great hits like Teen Foreman, Work Around the Clock, Water Cooler Blues, and You Gotta Have a Plan.
You gotta have a plan so you know what to do. You gotta have a plan to solve for you. You gotta have a plan so you know who to call. If you don't have a plan, you know it at all. Nowhere at all. Nowhere at all. You got to go.
They got that Tex Avery animation style going.
What are the things you don't like to do? What are the things best suited for you? What are the tools and machines you can use expertly?
Don't be a jerk, go out and get some work.
What kind of jobs have you performed successfully?
What kind of jobs have you had? Have you had? Have you had? Have you had?
Resume, tell them who you are.
Personality.
Resume, tell them what you've done.
Chronologically.
Short and sweet, not complete. Proper grammar and
Type it neat.
your resume. Your resume. Your resume.
Now you've got your list and your resume. You've got some choices now, don't delay. Number 1, whoa, you should be phoning, honey. Number 2, whoa, you should be mailing, baby. Number 3, whoa, you should be listening for that call.
2 o'clock today? Sure.
2 o'clock, whoa,
Put on your best hats, honey.
2 o'clock, whoa, don't want you looking funny. 2 o'clock, whoa, you'll soon be making money. You can take along the proper attitude.
Oh, the rat race of capitalism. That was beautiful. All right, this is our final short, and then we have one more clip. This is Black Fly from Christopher Hinton.
Was early in the spring when I decided to go for to work up in the woods in North Ontario. And the unemployment office said they'd send me through to the Little Abitibi with the survey crew. And the black flies, the little black flies. Always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario. The man Black Toby was the captain of the crew, and he said, I'm gonna tell you boys what they're gonna do. They want to build a power dam, we must find a way for to make the little flow the other way. With the black flies, the little black flies, always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario. So we surveyed to the east, surveyed to the west, and we couldn't make our minds up how to do it best. Little Ab, what shall I do? For I'm all going crazy with the survey crew. And the black flies, little black flies, always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario. 'Twas black fly everywhere, a crawling in your whiskers, a crawling in your hair, swimming in the soup, swimming in the tea. The devil take the black fly, let me be.
Black fly, the little black fly, oh.
Always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario.
All right, I love this one too. Oh my God, Fiddle Bear. I love Fiddle Bear. Accordion snake! God!
Slow, the state of our morale was getting pretty low. And the flies swarm heavy, it was hard to catch your breath. Just staggered up and down the trail, talking to yourself with the black flies, the little black flies. Always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario. Well, now, the bullcook's name was Blind River Joe. If it hadn't been for him, we'd have never pulled through. 'Cause he bound up our bruises and he kidded us for fun. And he lathered us some bacon grease and balsam gum for the black flies, the little black flies. Always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario.
This reminds me a lot of like old railroad songs.
And at last the job was over. Black Toby said we're through with the little Abitibi and the survey crew. 'Twas a wonderful experience, and this I know, I'll never go again to North Ontario. With the flies, the little black flies, always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll die with the black fly, picking my bones in North Ontario, in North Ontario. The black flies, the little black flies, always the black fly, no matter where you go. I'll
Die with the black flies, picking my bones in North Ontario,
in North Ontario.
I'm gonna have this. Written in 1949 by Wade Hemsworth after working in the Northwoods of Ontario. Yeah, okay. Oh, and that was him singing it. I love it. That song is going to be stuck in my head. It's a real catchy tune. Tap dancing skeleton. He's so sketchy. I love it. I've seen Bill Pettigrew's name pop up on a lot of stuff. Our last clip is a classic moment from The Cat Came Back, like Cordell Barker.
But the cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just wouldn't stay away.
Really, I don't remember this one.
But the cat came back the very next day. Oops, the cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back. He just wouldn't stay away.
Yeah, I don't believe we watched this on Golden VCR, but you might have seen it somewhere else.
What the?
Granted, it has been long enough that I forget now what we've seen. But the animation tapes stand out in my memory. Snake coming. Beautiful. There you have it, folks. The National Film Board of Canada's Animation Festival from 1992. Give it up for Green Day for sending this in once again. This was excellent. North Ontario. I'm Inery the 8th, I am. Inery the 8th, I am. I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. Everyone was an Inery. She wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. I'm a 8th old man named Inery. Inery the 8th, I am. We also have Computer Animation Festival, courtesy of Green Day. So we'll get to this on another stream. Probably another Saturday stream. We have not watched this one, no. This one features, let's see. Well, I can pull it up for a little preview. Animation. Yeah, we've had Computer Animation Festival Volume 1, Volume 2. This is also titled Computer Animation Festival, but it's a different set of shorts. Sleepy Guy, Liberation, Fluffy, Moai's Dream, Card Trick, Voyager, Arnie and Bernie, Let There Be Light, The First Political Speech. Yeah. Plug your imagination into the most extraordinary collection of computer-powered imagery ever released on video. From 1996. I'm excited for that one. I hope you all are too. Excited for many more tapes that are being added and will be added to the collection at goldenvcr.com. Yeah, that's going to be it for this stream. Thanks everybody for being here. Let's see. I'm on the fence about streaming Monday because I'm working on a project that I really want to get done. And then also, like, I've been having a great, like, chapter of my life where I've been able to do the streaming stuff and work on big time stream tools, this product, this internet software thing, and do a lot of work personally. But I'm coming to the end of this chapter where I need to, like, get a job. So my current focus is working on this project that I'm trying to wrap up, and then I'm gonna have to, like, work on my resume and apply to jobs and stuff. So that being said, I'm on the fence about, like, maintaining a 3-day-a-week stream schedule. I might I might do, Monday and then skip Wednesday and do Saturday, or I might do Wednesday and Saturday. I don't know. And yeah, that's a possibility too, is shifting the schedule some to do more evening stuff, or maybe do more impromptu stuff, or shorter things here and there, like we pick a tape that we all want to see and schedule it for a certain time of day. Anyway, but for now, we're kicking it. Same as usual. I'm just I'll let you know in Discord if we're doing something on Monday, or if I'm taking that time to just work on stuff. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for sending in all these wonderful tapes. Thank you for your very generous support with all the cheers and subs. We got to golden Kappa level 7 or 6 or something. That I think that's like the inner echelons of Scientology, where we get like more forbidden knowledge. I'm looking forward to Twitch revealing the secrets to me. Thanks to you all. So I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend, everybody. Let's see. Yunus, who is a pal of Joshy D, who we've seen on stream before, we've rated once or twice, is playing Final Fantasy IV. That looks neat. If you're looking for something else to watch, go check him out. Otherwise, enjoy your day. What is our raid message? Construction site. I don't know. You'll think of something. North Ontario. That's great. All right. See you, folks. Have a good one.